guys, so for today I'm going to show you how I made this puff puff from scratch. Okay, so I have this all-purpose flour, sugar, yeast, active dry yeast, and of course salt. I started with putting this salt. I didn't have the regular salt, and this salt has no iodine or iodine, however you call it. So it's I started using that salt, and I eventually this didn't work out. But yeah, I put a little bit of the salt in warm water because I wanted to activate the yeast, and I put some sugar inside as well. I use granulated sugar, nothing special, and put, like, you have to be really careful about this step if you want your yeast to be activated properly. So I put warm water and some salt and sugar. So I can tell you later on, because like I said, I ended up throwing this batch of yeast out because I think the sugar, the salt itself messed it up. So that's why I left this clip so that you can know, like, I made a mistake here, and it was a technical mistake actually, because it's supposed to work, but that particular salt messed it up. So I had to like throw away this batch. But usually what this does is you put the salt, you put the sugar in warm water, and then you put the yeast. The salt and sugar helps to like activate the yeast. And if even after pouring the yeast in, you can see that the activation just started working out. But by the time I got back, it looked very differently from what I was expecting. So I threw it out and I made another batch. But this time around, I didn't put any salt in it. I just used sugar. So yeah, I think if you look closer in, you can see like this is what it's supposed to give after some time, like after 5 minutes. So yeah, I threw that out, and this is the new batch that I did without the salt. So I used just sugar. So I used 2 cups of flour, and in why you can see me by pouring more and more is because the measuring cup I had was just 1.5 cups. So I needed to put 4 of that in. I just needed to make a very small batch. So 2 cups of flour, and well, I don't really measure sugar the way people do. I just do according to taste, so that it's not too much and it's not too little. So I put some sugar in there. I cannot particularly tell you how many cups, or I can't tell you that. I can't tell you how many tablespoons or teaspoons. I just do according to taste. So yeah, I put my sugar and I just mix the dry ingredients in. Don't forget I have like the yeast and the yeast and every other thing aside. So I put some salt. I had to remove some of it because I feel like I put too much than I wanted to. So you can see the salt is like different from regular salt. So I needed to be really careful with that. I was very skeptical because I already poured away the first batch of yeast I made. So I didn't think it through before putting that salt, but I prayed it didn't spoil it. But at the end, it didn't spoil it. So yeah, yay. So this is how the yeast is supposed to look like. And my first batch was just looking like pure water. So I just had to trade out and do this. So adding the yeast to the dry mixture and just mix it up gently, but making sure that it gets like all over everywhere. And it's okay if you run out of yeast. You're not supposed to put too much yeast. So that's why I use very little amount of warm water to activate the yeast. So now what I do is I use water. I don't know what else people use, but I use water. This is like my second successful puff, by the way, guys. So I'm like a novice, just like you. So if I can do it, you can do it. I've made puff that just sink inside the oil and as hard as a rock, that if someone uses it to hit you, you probably have some bruises. So yeah, I know from experience the mistakes that I made and I avoided them. So do what I do and you come up with your own puffy puff puff. So yeah, add water. Like this batch has to be really not thick but not so light either. So you have to add water cautiously and keep on mixing it, like keep on mixing it until everything is all round, all smoothed out. You need a dough like that of, you know how the mix for pancake is, right? But not as light as that of the pancake, but almost. So this is even very thick, so I'm going to go in and add more water to it. I'll add more water to it and keep on mixing it. So adding more water and mixing it until I get the desired result. So going in there, I'm not putting too much, like I'm just doing it cautiously according to my, what I need it to look like. Like I said, you just have to try and you get it. So just keep putting it in there. Just, keep turning it. And I particularly didn't want any seed in this. So I kept on turning it and mixing it until everything was, seedless. I didn't want any seed. I didn't want any lumps. I just wanted it to be smooth, I wanted it to go really, really well. So that's why you see me, I keep like adding very little water at a time. I didn't like drench it with water. I just put little water as needed. And like I said, guys, I have done a lot of mistakes before. I've done like two different, like this is like the fourth batch of puff puff I've made so far in my life, and out of four, the last two is really good, but the first two was like catastrophe. So yeah, after doing that, you cover it up with foil paper, airtight, so that air doesn't get into it. So you cover it properly with foil paper, and I still went ahead to like put something else on top of it, like a foil lid, but yeah, some people use cloth, but I use a lid on top of the foil paper, and then I put it in the microwave. Now, I didn't turn on the microwave, just completely off, but I just needed somewhere warm. Most people use their oven, but I didn't use the oven because I mostly use the microwave, so I believe it was a bit more warm than the oven. And yeah, so this is the result. It's high. It's like risen. It's like times 2 of the initial mix, and you can see like from the tiny, you see like the tiny bubbles on top. So that shows you that you have what you needed. So I already went ahead to start doing my thing. So yeah, you see like when you watch other videos of other people, you see that they use their hand to like press in the puff puff mix inside the pan. But for me, I think that's really messy for me. I didn't want to like get my hands all messy because I don't know, I just don't like the messiness of all of that. So I use the tiny cup that I use in measuring my sugar, not the big cup. There's this tiny spoony cup thing. So it still gives what it's supposed to give, So yeah, like you have to be really careful. The oil, you have to make sure that the oil is like the right amount. It shouldn't be too small. It should be enough to like give what it's supposed to give, So be sure that you have the right amount of oil. And if you don't want to be messy like me, if you want to do like me, just use this like spoon thing, and you still get the desired result. So use the right amount of oil, use the right techniques, the right instruments, and you get the desired results. But guys, look at the beauty of this puff puff. Oof, oh my. Just look at the beauty of it all. The first and the first puff puff I ever made, I think the oil was just too small and it just kept going flat into was it the oil, the yeast? But like I did the first one, the yeast was bad. The second one, the oil was too small, so it messed it up. But the third and the fourth one, I'm already a pro now, so yeah, I have to show you guys what I did right and what I did wrong. So you see, I'm giving you the deets of everything, so you know that I have made mistakes, and there's no perfect person in the kitchen. We all learn from things. But yeah, look at the beauty of this puff puff. My lighting was terrible, but man, it was still beautiful to look at and even more delicious to eat. If you want any batch of this, just hit me up and I will make sure that you get some your way. But from the video, I'm sure you'll be able to do, like, get the things you need. A very simple ingredients, and you can get them from the store and make your own badge. Just follow my instructions, follow the video step by step. If you have any questions, I'll put it down in the comment section below, and I will be sure to answer any of your questions. Guys, I love what I'm seeing. Do you love it too? Thank you for watching. Bye.